Hello everyone, this is Fox. I'm coming back with a second review. Today what I'm going to do, as I mentioned in my previous Battle Pass review, watch that if you haven't, I am going to check on the Nanchang and I'm going to check on the Z-21. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts about it. Based on that you can say if the Battle Pass is truly worth it or not. For this particular thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a couple of tests. As you notice, I'm using Charles de Gaulle and I'm going to compare it with the MiG because pretty much the two of them are kind of the same. Of course not, because this one has drop bombs. Let's first look at the characteristics over here. Of course, it's a Chinese strike fighter. Yeah, provide close air support. That's key because the grenade launcher is meant to be closed at 6 kilometers. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, and it also can throw bombs. So what we have over here is we have a machine gun. It's going to do a total damage of 23. Burst damage is 4k, around close to 5. You have 3 of them, so it's going to be around the 15k. Yep. It reloads every, let's put it this way, 9 seconds, which is actually a long time if you take it into account. I will explain why. In addition to that, we are going to have as well this missile over here, right, which is going to have a very quick reload of 5.5. So you are meant to be spamming this if you're going to use the strike fighter. Burst damage is going to be 10, so a total is going to be around 30k. Yeah, so that's actually a very good burst damage. Remember, you have 3 of them. Yes, and this is launched by 2, so if it's 20 multiplied by 3, it's actually 60 burst damage. Okay, so we're going to run that into a test. Of course, you have the free bomb, which is going to do a total burst damage of 40, again multiplied by 320. So you're going to see that this is going to be influenced mainly on the number of strike fighters that you have in the air. For every strike fighter that you lose, you're losing a capability of 40k damage. Take that into account. I am going to compare this with a MiG, of course, that you have a different type of armament. You have a missile over here that does a burst damage of 20. You have the missile battery. The most important thing that we are going to compare over here is the burst damage of this one over here. So you have a total of 22 damages of 10. So you have 3 of them. You can do 30 burst damage. So that's going to be the main difference. We are going to compare it on a test. Okay, for anything else, and then I'm going to tell you my thoughts about it. So before anything else, this particular strike fighter over here, this is the folder. This is not the right strike fighter. Let's crash it into the sea. Kapui. So this strike fighter, it cannot target air, it cannot target submarines. Let's check on the burst damage. Although I want to tell you why that really doesn't matter, but here it goes. So we have this. We're going to have the total of the 89, and then we're going to have, if you throw the bomb, and we are talking around 200k, 210, 200 to 200k damage. So that is what you can do. We are going to try that again, just to be certain. Okay, so if you come close, right, let's put it this way. I'm going to make sure that I am like this. Okay, good. So I messed that up. It's okay. So yes, we have the 72, and then afterwards we throw the bomb. So again, we are talking around a total of 200k burst damage. Okay, so what are my thoughts about this strike fighter? First of all, let's compare it a little bit with a MiG. I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this test, and I'm going to bring it again to test on the damage of the MiG. So first of all, when I assess strike fighters, I'm going to put them in a tier list. And I'm going to think that the capability of a strike fighter to do more than 100k damage on burst on launch, I'm going to consider that to be an A or S. Let's take that into account. Of course, how reliable it is. So like most of strike fighters, are going to have a total of 185 burst damage. Now, of course, on paper you are able to do more burst damage with this one, but bear in mind you cannot always land, or it's not like you cannot always land this free bomb, but in order for you to do that 200 burst damage, is going to be later in the fight when you have less ships, let's put it this way, close together, because that's going to mean less air defense. As you can see, it can maneuver fairly well. But what's the catch about this strike fighter? Because most of you are going to say, hey, Foxhound, I mean, like, free bombs doesn't really matter anything because the air defenses, right? The air defenses are too strong and you cannot even get close to ships. Okay, let me explain. First of all, the distance of this main damage dealer, let's put it this way, this grenade launcher is going to be 6 kilometers, around 6, so at 5.9 you can fire. The thing about this is that it will last every 5 seconds. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you did a damage of around, let's put it this way, let's see, it's going to be a damage of 56. So as you can see, you can do constant damage very quickly. Yeah, and you have a total of 5 of these launches. That is what I'm going to do on the live matches. That technically you don't need to go and kamikaze yourself throwing the bomb. You have to use all your grenade launches from afar, and once you can use everything for power, yeah, then you switch into your bomb and you throw. Of course, this strike fighter is going to mean that you need to master how to use the free bombs. I maybe need to do a very quick review on that, or strategy on that, but the trick over here is that once you have end, you go at full speed, and once you're on course, the only thing that you focus on is just to throw the bomb on right time. That's the trick of landing this. But one thing is to say it, and another thing is to do it correct. So, initial thoughts before going into the live matches. I think this could be on par to the MiG and Harrier. That means it's worth to get the strike fighter. However, let's put it this way: strike fighters at this category, at this tier list, is going to be a B tier, and just bear in mind they're going to be tiers S, A, B, and C. There's only one in the S. You are going to guess which one it is, right? The point being is that this type of strike fighters, the more skill you need to use them, the more damage you can do with them. So if you don't have the right strategy skill around the strike fighter to do this type of damage, of course you are going to say that it's bad. From my point of view, this is a strike fighter that it has a good potential to do damage. Imagining that at the beginning you are not good with free bombs, if you keep your distance and then you shoot every 5 seconds, let's put it this way, you are pulling up a damage of around 63 to 50. So that's 100 right there, guaranteed. No flares, no nothing, you don't have to worry about anything. So that is a good damage. I'm already on 200. So yeah, that's what I think about the strike fighter, but we are going to put that into the test, right? Of course, there is the fun factor that once you are able to master doing these free bomb launches, of course you are going to feel very proud of yourself that you're able to do. Is this something you will use on all matches? Absolutely. This is something that you will use for tournament potential. I have to tell you right off the get, the best strike fighter for tournaments, I think it's scary. I will tell you my reasoning. That's a totally different story. So I think it's a very capable strike fighter. We are going to put this into the test. Yep. We're going to put this into the test, right? For that matter, I'm going to play against online players, right? So of course because I'm playing against online players, I don't want to lose matches testing this, right? So I'm going to bring Charles de Gaulle with Su-39 just to guarantee that I will have a good match at least. And also, before I continue, I'm going to do a very quick review on the helicopter as well. So if we launch the helicopter, this one over here, right, you're going to see that what's the most important thing that you want to know about this helicopter, right? Is it able to hit ground submarines? So it is able to hit submarines. Okay, so it's an anti-submarine helicopter. Right out of the get-go, that it makes the battle pass completely worth it, because having a helicopter with anti-submarine capabilities is very good. Damage on that is going to be around 5k, which is very good damage for something that you can hit up submarines. I believe it can also hit planes as well, so you have defense as well on that. Burst damage of this helicopter, where it is slow, although I don't mind the spin, if I'm completely honest. If you use it in your assault carrier, yeah, it's not a big issue. If you use it on a ship, that's a completely different story. This is not a fast helicopter, but I'm sure it packs quite a punch. So let's throw it over here. We're going to throw this missiles. We're going to throw this, and we're going to continue throwing it. So you have two cannons. Damage is very respectable, 129k. So that's quite an amount of damage right there. So yeah, I think this is a very capable helicopter. Yes, it can also target air. This is something that you should consider getting, absolutely. So it's very, very capable. And you will say between this and Comanche, again, it's very tricky what the scenario. Comanche is best in open maps. This over here you can hit without the need of hitting torpedoes, so that's a good one. But no, I think it is very good. So it's on par with the recent helicopter that we got from in the previous battle pass, which is very good. Which is the, if it's over here, the Mi-45 Comet. Yeah, it's very good. Of course, the damage of this cannon is 43, right? 43. Whereas the damage of the, let's go back into the Chinese one. The damage over here for this machine gun is going to be 22, but actually you have two machine guns, and you are able to hit a burst damage of 50. So yes, totally worth it, I think. So what we are going to do right now is we are going to try this into a match, okay, and we are going to see how it goes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open the map with Su-39, and then afterwards we are going to reverse the roles. But again, this, of course, this strike fighter, like any strike fighter, benefits if the map's already open. So we're going to give you the best chance by keeping the map open. But who knows, maybe it's good at opening the map first glance. So let's start with the matches. Okay, let's start into this match. What are my thoughts about the strike fighter? First of all, we have to cover on the weaknesses that I'm noticing. I already have one match with this strike fighter. Weaknesses. So it seems that the health is a little bit fragile. So this is a strike fighter that you really want to commit. If there are a lot of ships around you, you won't be able to do the damage that you want to do. However, if you are targeting a ship that is, let's put this way, not so, that doesn't have air defense, or it's by itself, then you should consider that this is a strike fighter. As you can see, I'm doing very moderate damage, and I have lost, and I have done that without even using the bomb. So I was on purpose holding one, throwing over there to show you what we can do. Let's continue our assault with our Su-39. Of course, control the air. I'm not going to let that Enterprise have a good time. I'm going to make sure that it's in panic mode all this time. So make sure that we secure the match, right? So we are able to test our strike fighter more. Okay, we did that. Now we're going to try the bombs. Okay, so here we are, right? Okay, so that is gone. And there you go, throw the bomb, hit, yeah, and you were able to do good damage over there. We will see at the end the comparison on damage. Of course, you cannot compare it with the Su-39 because this is a S-class strike fighter. You can see the reload is very quick, that's why it works with the Charles de Gaulle. But as you can see, for example, an assault carrier on a carrier, I'm gonna try not to kill it so I can use the strike fighter. Let's see, so let's wait for it to load, right? So what are my thoughts about it? You are able to do good damage from afar. You can also throw the bombs to guarantee the kill. That was victory. And actually, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Let's see the match over here. This one requires a fairly good amount of a tactic behind it. It's not like you can just grab it and then use it. But as you can see, I did as equal as good damage as the Su-39. Obviously, I held back on the third attack. But based on the throwing two of them, two volleys of the strike fighters, we got equal damage to the Su-39. However, I would say it depends a lot on factors, right? It depends a lot on if, first of all, you have to be very picky on what you're going to fire first. If you are fighting things on groups, you have to be very picky, keep your distance. But if it's a ship by itself and it's not something that has high air defenses, then actually you can do a very good guaranteed damage, like any type of strike fighter technically, but this one is more guaranteed because of the bomb, the free bomb that you can throw. Let's try our second match over here. Again, I am going to open with the Su-39. We are going to choose our target carefully. It's going to be one of the destroyers. I assume one of them is going to be a Sunwal because Sunwal is always there. This time around it's not a Sunwal, which is good. Not good, I mean, but I'm surprised and that's good to see that I'm facing a Sunwal. So we are first going to try, of course, our win condition, right? And what's our win condition in this map? It's going to be taking out this ACB. So that way we can try the strike fighter with this, right? We're going to see if our team is going to wake up and try to hit the carrier. I think that's done. Should be done. Great. Let's try to test again. Yes, okay, so we have a destroyer in front of us. A Ted Stevens, it's by itself. Let's play with this one over here. We have the right, so we hit from distance, right? Yeah, we are taking cover, we are taking our time, right? Remember, you have a total of five of these throws. As soon as you start losing planes, I think that's the time you have to decide, okay, it's time to get inside, it's time to go in. The bombs, I almost did it, so you can do good damage, but again, if there are two ships in there, you may not be able to throw the bombs. I would suggest, if you want to make that work, you don't have to wait for one of your planes to go down. I will assume that you need to go in as quickly as possible to make sure that you are able to reach the planes at least. We're going to do the second round over here, right? It's going to be 2 rounds per strike fighter. So again, this is not a comparison with Su-39. I think I need to step back a little bit because yeah, it's also dead. So let's see if we can get another try with the strike fighter. Not possible because it's already dead. So that happened. Su-39. I think what I'm going to do next time is launch the strike fighter first. because of course the air strike fighter is not letting me. It's not letting. Let's take this time also to test the helicopter. Might as well. A scenario like this, right? So remember, if you fly low, you will be able to go faster with your helicopter, regardless of which helicopter it is. So no, it doesn't matter if it's low. If you go down, you are able to go faster. Again, the match is already over, since it's not like the end of the day. Yeah, and yeah, this is the capability, the anti-submarine capability of this helicopter, which is good. Let's try to wrap this match up. Taking out this Strike game. I think someone was trying to hit me over here. Yeah, I was saying, "Oh, please, I want that kill." I think they were very desperate for the kills. So yeah, 792. That's actually very good. Again, let's look at statistics. I did not manage to throw the bomb this time around, so of course there's going to be a reduced damage over there of 100k. So I will say that you really have to be like very strategic. It's a strike fighter that really demands skill, demands to choose which targets to aim, demands how to engage if you have like 2 ships, so, or a group or whatever. So, I mean, you can do the damage, but it's going to be more difficult to do that damage consistently unless you practice a lot with it, and I mean a lot with it. So it has this capability. Is it worth, I mean, putting that amount of energy into this strike fighter? That depends on you. I would say depends if you like doing fast bombing, because of course that's guaranteed hit, right? Nothing can evade that bomb, but at the same time you have to make sure that you're able to land it. So I would put this one maybe in the lowest part of the B category. Maybe I should start saying A category. Start saying what the hell. I don't know, let's put it low part of the A. So here it's around those birds. Okay, so we are again the strike fighter, but you know, all habits, right? I think you are able to target air. Yes, you are able to target air with this one. This time around, I'm going to again take the distance, right? So I just hit 30. 35 because we lost one. Yeah. So when you are in groups, it's very difficult for it to. It's very difficult for it to go and land things. My team is already complaining. I paid to win. So well, it's such a bad thing. We are going to start hitting this wood because it's being annoying and it's trying to do the match. And I tell you, the battleship is always the win condition over here. It's going to load. We lost one ship. How can we say? And in the front, people are taking damage even though the battleship is not there. So that is very sad, right? This is the perfect time to try the capability of this, right? Not able to get close to a battleship. Yeah, it's not able to get close to Alsace. So that reduced it. Please stop dying! People love to just dying for no reason whatsoever. It's very sad, right? It's very, very sad. So, well, we're going to try the win over here, right? Yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing over here. The HMS hood with its smoke, which is very annoying, I don't know how to say. It's your smoke. Again, let's try again. get close to the hood. We cannot get close to the hood. So yes, that is quite a thing over here. Let's try the helicopter against it. Okay, finally went down. Okay, so if our team stays alive, then we should be fine. If that person stays alive, we should be fine. I lost a lot of time on the hood. You see, at least two launches of strike fighters and close. So that is already telling you you are not able to hit the ships that have strong AA, and that's going to limit a lot on this strike fighter. So yeah, that makes it very difficult for me to say yes, it's going to be an amazing strike fighter. Well, that's what I'm doing with the Z-39. It is I don't have armament. So now, again, out of the get-go, now we are finding ourselves in a 1 versus 1 situation with HMS Hood. Sorry, with the storm. I can take out the planes, so that is actually something positive as well about this strike fighter. So again, situations like this, right? We have the bomber. Okay, where is the storm? Okay, so we're going to try to get there. And there you go, bomb is out. Yeah, so we did a good amount of damage right there, right? Let's go out with the SU-39, so again that's guaranteed damage. And yeah, what are my thoughts about it? Again, I think it's is it worth it? I mean, if you have Harrier, if you have Nick, possibly not. It's easier, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad strike fight, but you are able to do more consistent damage with those than with this. But don't get me wrong, this one you can do the damage. It has the capability. You just need the skill to do it. So yeah, that's what's scoring over here with the strike fight. So yeah, it's worth it. If you are willing to put the energy to master it, then potentially yes, maybe the free bombs. If you are good at free bombs, and most people are not good at free bombs. So for the general of the population, I would say maybe not. But I know it's very tricky, because if you really learn how to do the attack with it, of course, SU-39 did most of the job over here, right? As always. But yes, we were able to do like 407. The problem is that, as you can see, or as I recommended, you need to not invest yourself too much into throwing these bombs. You need to try to be far in order to throw most of the grenade launchers. And yes, if you have a ship that has low air defenses, then yes, maybe it is worth it to get close. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this review. Leave out in the comments what you think about this strike fighter, because it's also not just me. You also need to hear the opinion of others, right? But aside of that, I think, well, I hope that you enjoyed this review. This is Foxhound signing off. Have a good day, everyone.